Right. So these, I didn't get a lot of questions via email, so these are questions that people have asked me over the last 5 years that I've been here. And there's a couple of them I still probably couldn't answer, so maybe I should even start with the really hard ones. I don't know.
Why don't you warm up with
warm up. Okay, good. And so some of these are about Montessori, and then a couple of them just relate to sort of the school, and so they will play with it.
Paper, yeah.
All right. So here's one that I've heard a lot, and that, and also as you guys have questions, please just jump in too, because the idea is to figure out what do people want to know, and then get it all documented as well. My child had the wrong answers on their homework, but it wasn't corrected. Why not? Okay.
This is one that does come up frequently. And I'm just going to ask you, first of all, to think about yourself and trying something new, and whether it's very motivational to have someone correcting you right off the get-go, or whether it's maybe important to give yourself a chance to practice and become proficient until you're comfortable being judged by your performance. And so one of the hallmarks of Montessori students that we've heard back both from high school teachers and from college teachers is that Montessori students have the ability to take on big challenges because they're not intimidated by someone else's standards. So what we've done by focusing on the process of mathematics in particular, rather than just the right answer, particularly in the lower grades, is to give them the ability to practice what the functional aspect of the operation is versus just the answer. And I don't know if you've seen some of our math materials, but I'll use the multiplication checkerboard. So first, second, and third graders are doing multiplication of 4 digits by 4 digits, which is very, very dynamic. And it involves a lot of beads, and the answers are quite large, and it takes the better part of an hour to do one problem. If we just focused on them just getting the right answer, what they lose is having that mental image of what numbers are doing in reality as they are multiplied by large numbers. And that's really what we want them to walk away with, is a sense of place values and dynamic operations. And we want to protect their ability to challenge themselves versus the challenge always coming from adults. So even in a gifted and talented program in public school, when teachers give assignments, students tend to try to find something very easy that they know they can get the A, rather than looking for the topic or the project that's really of interest to them. And so by protecting that ability to fail and learn from failure, we protect their ability to challenge and seek higher order thinking and work. And that's why we do that. They eventually do want to know the right answer. And starting in upper elementary, not only do we encourage them to seek the right answer, but we also provide calculators and answer keys so that they can be checking their own work as they seek accuracy in the operation.
So is it a matter of their brain may not be developed enough to, below third grade and below, that it's about place value instead of, there are things that they need to understand that are more important than getting the right answer.
The Montessori math materials are set up to give a visual image of mathematics. So it's not just seeking a simple right answer. It's about understanding what is dividing a fraction by a fraction, and when might it be useful, and how does that really look, and why is it that if you divide a fraction by a fraction you get a larger number, and if you multiply you get a smaller number? Why is that so? And so those are the sort of mysteries of math that our materials are more geared towards helping them understand those things.
So Carol, how are they challenged to know if they did not get the right answer, at what stage or age level? So they're challenged enough to go seek the right answer without just saying, here's the answer key, there's the right answer. So they're challenged to try that bead thing again, to like get more closer to the...
Absolutely. They
Because it's
are
real life.
they are seeking accuracy.
Okay.
And this is where we go back to the discussion of human tendencies. There is a human tendency to seek perfection. And I always use golf as my example, mainly because I really didn't like golf as a kid. And it didn't make any sense to me why people would want to sit and hit this stupid ball over and over again. My first job was selling buckets of balls and drivers at a rec center. So, I mean, I would watch these people and go, why do they want to do that? That was so boring. But there is pleasure from doing something over and over again, trying to make it more and more perfect. And that is a human tendency of all human beings, and we rely upon those tendencies as we help children develop to their fullest. And if I think you all go back to your more advanced mathematics in college, it is often helpful to know the right answer as you go through a complicated math process, as you're seeking the process. So, you know, giving them the answer is part of teaching them to think mathematically of how the formula plays out, so that they can then use that formula in a reliable way. We also encourage them to work collaboratively, to compare each other's answers, to work as a team. All of these things, I think, are necessary for children moving into the adult workplace in this new century or millennium that we're in. The answers that could be solved by humans working alone have been solved. The problems facing us now are going to take more than just an individual brain. They're going to take hundreds of people being able to work collaboratively towards this very abstract problem. And so we foster collaboration for those reasons as well.
If the homework is not marked when it comes back, how can we feel comfortable knowing that the teacher has reviewed it and is aware of the student's level as far as what they've mastered and what they still need support in?
Actually, there's assessments going on all the time. We do assessments 3 times a year to keep track of that very specifically. And those assessments actually tell us where they are in a continuum of proficient and mastery.
In the middle school setting,
Yes.
when they bring work home, are we, I hope we are allowed to guide them?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And this is where it's going to be a little difficult, because an answer for primary is very different than an answer for middle school or high school. But some of the principles follow through, and it really does have to do with having faith in the student, that if we get all other obstacles out of their way, that human beings really do want to learn and they want to do their best. And if that's not happening, there's something in the way that we as adults need to figure out. So we look at the underlying causes versus picking at them. And that's true for all ages.
Regarding homework or work that they're doing at home, at what age, you know, they need it. We're not supposed to do it for them. I know that, but we can help them, you know, get to the work and provide them, you know, space to do the work, and we just sort of leave them alone and to do it, kind of thing.
That doesn't sound like any fun at all to me. And I'll use my mother as an example. She could not wait for us to bring home our math work, because she'd go, oh goody, algebra. And that's really what you can be as parents. It's kind of that cheerleader, co-collaborator, a person who is excited about what they are doing. So to just be hands-off really isn't, that's kind of detached and not of service. To help them find the joy of their homework, I think is something that is a masterful talent of parents.
That was the easiest thing, maybe, yeah. But,
Well,
you know.
different needs too.
They do.
My daughter's dyslexic, and sometimes I read her the word problems
Mm.
because she can't figure it out, and I read it and she goes, oh, and so like kids are different, and they let us know.
So I was told that, we don't do homework, or Montessori doesn't, I was
Here's a good
literally
question for you.
told that.
Montessori
I mean,
doesn't do
and it's
homework.
fine with me. I mean, I was told they do so much work in the classroom. I mean, at a younger age.
Can I reframe that just a tad?
Okay.
We actually have extended our own school day a half hour over what district schools offer. So we feel like a half hour of that extra work we are doing. The reason we don't pin our students' academics on homework as much as a traditional school is that we don't have 30 checkerboards in a room to send home at night. Or, they can't take the Montessori materials home with them. So automatically, if we're sending something home, it needs to be different than their daily work. So we do have homework at Montessori. We do.
Like the readers that they've been giving out.
Absolutely.
For our coming back.
So, since the school started, we have said that there are, we used to say 3, now we say 4. The first thing is the child should have chores for the good of their family community every day that they are dependent on to do as a member of their family. That gives them value as human beings. The second thing is you as a family should be reading about a half hour together as a family, turning off the television and reading to them, even when they're still middle schoolers, or even after they become readers themselves. You as parents should be still reading together with them. And the reason is, and since we have 3 middle schoolers, they can correct me if I'm wrong, it's still really pleasurable to be read to. And it is a way that they can handle concepts and vocabulary that they may have never even heard spoken out loud before. So it is a way for them to explore mental areas that they may not be able to get to by themselves yet. So reading an adult book